Welcome, folks, to holiday Christmas edition of the Squeaky Wheel. I'm the captain, Ross Memphis Pambrin, and with me, as always, my friend and co-host, President Lawrence Gervais. We're broadcasting from Calgary in the Region 3 Métis Nation of Alberta, part of the historic Métis Nation of Alberta. We'd like to acknowledge these lands. We're in the traditional territories of the Blackfoot Confederacy, the Siksika, the Kainai, the Piikani, Tsuut'ina, and Stoney Nakoda, with whom we share this land on the basis of our historical and ongoing relationships. Also like to say thank you to our First Nations friends, to the Métis settlements, to all of our Métis brothers and sisters and families, and give thanks to our elders for their guidance and to Mother Earth for the time that she allows us to be here and sharing her bounty. Lawrence, this is one of the exciting times of the year. Now, I think a lot of us are aware that the changes in the holiday season is a result of this pandemic that's been beating us down. But I guess one of the most positive things that we can look at that's happened this week is here we are in, for lack of a better term, the snow belt, but it's going to be a white Christmas this year. The snow just came pounding down. And we, for our listeners, and thank you to all of our subscribers, we have a very exciting guest who comes on the show today. And I guess maybe, Lawrence, that's where we could also bring in the conversation that, from what I understand, the Dr. Tam from the federal government, Dr. Dina Hinshaw, even Mayor Nenshi has mentioned that there's been a allowance for our guest in order to cross all borders, travel anywhere he likes, and it's been confirmed that he carries no kind of illness, and all the animals that he travels with are safe.
Yeah,
Lawrence, you know who I'm talking about?
I mean, historically, our people traveled wherever they wanted to travel, right?
That's right.
They didn't need permission. No, I'm just kidding. They did need permission for one group, the First Nations, but that was it, right? Then they could travel wherever.
I think that's very respectful, yeah.
And I hope he got that permission too. We'll have to ask him. Yeah. So, I mean, we did get a lot of snow. I noticed right away the piles and piles of it, and it reminded me of my little younger days in Prince George, BC, where it snows like like nobody's business, and you still had to go to school, right?
Yeah.
Nowadays, if school was going on, this would be a different story. But there's a lot out there for sure.
And I don't want to throw any shots out at BC or anything like that, or a lot of places down in the U.S. and most of the places I find east of Manitoba. But as soon as they get an inch of snow, everything shuts down.
Yeah.
I think we must have had 12 inches of snow last night. What really changes? Nothing changes here, right? You might have to shovel a little bit more, but at the end of the day, you see the cars getting out there and everybody's driving everywhere that they're supposed to try and get to. And though we all struggle with it, that was a lot of shoveling that was happening today.
Yep, that's right. So, I mean, I look forward to more snow, whatever. I mean, I'm a snow bunny, right? So I like it. I don't get too scared unless I'm on the Deerfoot and I'm driving and there's trucks swerving around me. But definitely, I'm fine with it.
Please tell me that somewhere in your house, based on your age, there's a one-piece Descent ski suit that's probably like a nice light pastel colored that you used to wear when you went skiing, because that was the most popular thing at your younger age.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember, Tabor Mountain, Purdon Mountain, all these ski hills having hot tubs, and back in the 80s, and snowboarding was just starting up. And I mean, I was friends with the snowboarding instructor there, and we just had our run at the mountain almost every week, right?
Yeah, the whole mountain. I just know that everybody, that was the most popular thing. If you could own a one-piece Descent suit. But for me, I always wanted those two-piece black and yellow North Face ski outfits. Those were the coolest thing. I should probably look around my house and see if it's somewhere where I can find one, that snowsuit, because today's the day we should probably be wearing it. Snow's hit hard, going to be here for the next few days. And I imagine, though it's always sunny here in Alberta and it's looking beautiful today, we're going to still see big piles of snow. And we're going to see more. And it's what's going to help keep people home, hopefully with that respectful distance as we continue to try and manage our pandemic that we're dealing with.
Well, if you're on the ski hill in a Descent spandex Olympic suit, that'll keep everybody home, I can guarantee.
That'll keep everybody 6 feet away for sure.
Yeah. So
Especially with all the extra socks that I got to put in there.
So, Métis Santa had given me his number, so I'm gonna call that now. He does have a cell phone of all things now, so he's moving up in technology. So,
Does he? Well, and I guess that's his way in order to try and stay connected with all of the reindeer as well, because I'm pretty sure by now they've all got one. Well, let's bring them onto the line.
hello, how are you? How are those reindeer doing?
Oh, they're cold.
They're really cold, eh?
Oh, they're playing a lot of snow up here too.
Oh, are they? And they're playing in the snow.
Yeah, they're playing the snow there.
Oh,
Santa, do you?
Yeah, it's kind
do you
of cold
follow-
at North Pole too.
Do you follow a number of the Métis cart trails when
Yeah,
with your sleigh?
yeah,
if you can find them right now.
yeah. Pretty hard now.
So how many sort of children do you visit on Christmas Eve? Is it thousands? Is it millions?
Oh, millions and millions. All over the place.
And you must get a lot of happiness from that, I'm sure.
Most of them are all sleeping.
Oh, are they? They better be, right?
Yeah.
But what
And
about
in the morning, they're all happy.
what about the older children? What if they're not sleeping? Do they get a gift?
If they're good, yes, they get a gift.
If they're good. What about the ones who are bad, like, the ones maybe down south who work in politics?
Oh, the politics, I don't know about them.
Yeah. So do you jig a lot too when you deliver your presents?
Oh, yeah. I got my muck hats on and I do a bunch of jigging on top of the roof.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to keep all you to Santa. So you and the elves are hard at work now, I presume, and getting ready for.
Are they ever busy?
Mm-hmm. Do any of the elves have names or?
Yes, they do. Yeah,
Okay.
lots of names. I can't remember them all.
How many elves do you have working in your?
Oh, a couple of thousand.
Holy, that's a lot of elves. Wow.
Yes, because we got a lot of people, a lot of kids doing a year.
Excellent. Ross, do you have a question at all for Santa?
Yeah, I'd like to know what are some of the biggest obstacles right now that Santa's facing?
Try to get out of the snow. Because we got a lot of snow up here too. Were you a good boy too?
Well, what's that, Santa?
Were you a good boy?
I'd say about 80 to 90% of the time.
Oh, that's good.
I don't know about Ross though. I mean, yeah.
I heard he's a bad one.
Oh, he tries his best. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he'll get a gift this year.
I might buy him one. I'm not sure yet. He hasn't got one for me, but.
Oh yeah, if he's good, I'll buy him one because he's not getting them from Santa.
Well, he might get one from Santa. He's saying you're not going to get one, Ross.
Well, if he could be thinking of me, I know that I would love a Hudson's Bay scarf. I think that would look beautiful on me. It would go nicely with one of my sashes.
He's asking for a scarf, maybe something to go with one of his sashes. But he still has to be a good boy, though, till then. You got 2 days, Ross.
I got 2 good days.
You got 2 days. You got to be good.
But anyway, Santa, I'll let you go. Thanks for coming on. I know you got to get back to work with all the getting the toys ready and everything else. But we'll chat soon, okay, Santa?
Okay, thank you for calling.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Santa Claus.
Merry Christmas, everybody up there.
Yeah, be safe out there. Make sure you wear your mask.
For sure, yeah. Thank you for phoning.
Yeah, thank you. There we have it. Métis Santa.
There we have it. I think now, for lack of a better term, because I'm not trying to suggest anything other than I always appreciate Santa, but for that business, that population of, let's say, gentlemen who often go out to the malls and help out within the community, and they have pretty big beards too and often wear red suits. I feel bad that there's not that usual opportunity for them to be out giving their contribution to the school kids, to the families who go to the mall, to all of the Christmas parties. Those gentlemen have to keep that beard until next year, not getting the chance to participate as much as they usually do.
Well, I don't know. Like, I think guys who have beards naturally just want to keep them, obviously.
Well, maybe that's it. Yeah.
Unless they want to be recognized as Santa all the time. I'm sure my kids who are 4, will probably walk up to any man who thinks they look like Santa and go, Santa.
That's true.
Right? But
the, with the struggles with our economy right now and the struggles with our lockdown, those fellas out there who often get to portray that character are hurting just like the rest of us. So
yeah,
for those individuals in the service industry, in the industries that we've seen so many shutdowns in our province, hey, I look forward to the next time I get a chance to shake his hand and give him a hug. This has been hard for a lot of people. Not just the economics, the isolation. I think our federal government, our provincial government, our municipal governments, our Métis presidents, our executive, I think we're doing a good job of sharing with families that the spirit is still there, right? This is Métis Santa, and the idea that he's willing to come on, talk to us, share that positive connection. It's always positive.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's how we have to be, and that's how our community is just trying to stay positive as much as we can. If we focus on the negative, then we'll just put ourselves down just a little bit further, right? So you try to take the positive out of any situation. Our ancestors worked much harder than we do now through a lot more hardships and still tended to have family gatherings where a lot of celebration and keeping themselves happy. I know we can't do that now, but at least we find a way through social media right now. If we didn't have social media, I think this would be a very depressive state, to be quite honest.
Actually, that's a good point. We're utilizing what connection is available.
That's right.
And again, I comment all the time that the squeaky wheel is one more tool towards sharing connection and a conversation from a Métis perspective about what's happening. And we all know this is our favorite time of the year. This is that time of the year where we finally let everything slow down. The energy business slows down a little bit. We try to find that time to connect, and it's hard. It's been hard. So I think if we continue to look for all of these little positives, create as many of these little positives as we can, at the end, Métis Santa made me smile.
Yeah.
And I'm very lucky.
And yes, this week we had the Star of David appear, the confluence of the new star, and everybody was looking at that and, getting some hope, and then having it on the shortest day of the year. And then the next day, a big, huge snowstorm hits, and, there's less and less people out and about, but inside their homes, right? And maybe that's a bit of a blessing too. I'm not sure, but we know that is the heaviest shopping day of the year, is always that 23rd, right? Christmas Eve is always for the people who are a little bit late, but the 23rd day is always the busiest, right? So, with that, we just have to look at the positives. Like, we're here, we're home, we have this podcast, we're able to look at one another anyways and chat. Hopefully we can do this one day, and I'm hopefully we get there. We do have a space available to do a podcast. So, I'm looking forward to the future. I'm looking forward to 2021 and moving things through. I know things will be a little bit, I think that first part of the whole year will be nothing but us still isolating a little bit. But if we can get through those next 6 months and then moving on into when the numbers are comfortable, we'll all be able to sit down with each other again.
Well, and building the positives, like right beside me, and folks, you don't always get to see him, but this I call little Jason. This is, since he can't be necessarily always on the screen, I put little Jason beside me here wrapped in a sash. Yeah. This way, I always feel like the editing and the strength of our show continues to strengthen, and I have my little guy here beside me. I used to call him Little Lawrence, but I found that was a bit cliche, so this is my chance to have little Jason there.
Well, there's nothing little about
He needs to look a little angrier.
And a little longer hair, a little darker, longer hair.
If only we could get Jason's camera to work, right? We'd be okay.
Oh, it's all right. We got little Jason.
We got little Jason. We'll put some pictures of him up. So, Lawrence, tell us else what's going on here about the province.
Well, I mean, not so much other than we're all shut down. All the regions are taking their holidays till the 4th of January, and looking forward to the future and business and what we do next, and certainly looking at where we are with the self-government agreement we have with Canada for M&A, and looking at more consultation virtually for the beginning, and to hopefully we can meet again and have some giant roundtables with some good advisors sitting out there representing our region, and I look forward to that too. And yeah, we're just excited about that. You know, our COVID resources, we were doing a lot of frontline service, and we still continue especially during the holiday season, where people are finding it rough to really cover costs of things. So we're always, open to people coming to us, asking for support. I know we are closed, but we are ready just for those one-time things that happen day to day. And, I've gotten a few calls even today about people who are in desperate need. So we try to do our best to help them, and we're not really set up for we're not a service agency. A lot of that is left to friendship centers and all them, right? So, and we support them too, because they are the ones that are frontline. A lot of the staff that we have aren't really frontline people, but they've come to the nation with all their heart and mind to actually look at how do I provide a service to these people on an emergency level, right? So things have changed a little bit.
Well, and the role, the locals is there to help connect the region, the people to the region. And I think we're doing a great job, and our connection through our website, some of the resources, reconnecting people with what's happening provincially, so that they realize that there are different support mechanisms out there, and that there are areas where they can ask those questions. And I know you do a great job. I think we're doing all a great job. Our office is doing a great job, even though there's the big challenge right now of us not being able to be in our office. But I think we're doing a better job of how we're trying to connect people virtually. I know that our office is working to try and have events for the seniors, make available for opportunities for conversation. We're building youth programs. So folks, when you want to read more information, www.métis3.org will help steer you there to the province. One thing I want to talk to you about, Lawrence, was actually I just got my Métis harvesting card.
Oh, excellent.
Arrived. And it indicates on the back that I have the ability to harvest. It talks about the regions. Now at this time, there's sort of Red Deer North. Yep. We're not at that point yet where the province has recognized the South for opening those doors. Now, I think that though one of the reasons I applied wasn't so much the necessity to rush out and look at sustenance hunting or such, but if we don't as citizens apply, we're not sending a message to the government. We're not sending a message to the agencies telling them we are asking for this. We're asking for this in conversation because there's history and there's an important recognition that we need to continue to identify this was part of our history. I'm not suggesting that everybody necessarily wants to get their card because they want to rush out immediately and start hunting, but I think it's part of the process. So talk a little bit, if you could, just about where we're at when it comes to the South and its relationships with the province.
Well, in previous podcasts we kind of outlined, and nothing's really changed. There's no harvesting agreement that is open to Region 3 fully. It's only partly. So anything that's sort of, you're right, south of the Red Deer in Treaty 7 territory, it's a bit of a misnomer because Cabinet is always looking at what Hersecorn, that decision, and that was made. And they look at that as basing their decision on. So, us as M&A representatives, and Audrey was here too in another episode, and talking about, if we need to negotiate in a way that is, they understand that there are Métis here, re-looking at maybe some of the written history about it, and then, looking at ways to get our people to do their applications. And you're right, that is very, very important. If we don't exercise the inherent right to harvest, or at least present that to the next generation, we lose that ability, right? Because a lot of it's unknowing. A lot of people don't want to apply who don't harvest because they don't have the experience in it. But then us as a community members will be able to open that door to them and say, here, I'll show you how to harvest, as long as you get your application in. And if you get your application in for M&A registry to get your card, it's pretty much the same format. You present your tree and all that stuff, and they certify that you have ancestral connections to these areas, right? So that's pretty much the only difference, but you're still producing those historical documents, right?
Yeah, and I think whether or not it's for that individual who's applying for harvesting, if you keep that respectful lineage going, you might not want to, but another member, the next generation of your family, might want to. They might want to experience that. They might want to open that door because this is, again, part of our history. Just like how in the Muskrat Tales we talk about why Métis carts were important. We try to talk why the sash is important, why all of our how, as you and I, and especially me, learn every day something new about our Métis culture and how it impacts the activities that I want to participate in now, and a lot of those being, again, connection. How do we connect our youth with opportunities for education? How do we connect our elders back with sharing that information that they bring, that they've captured over those many years to share with us, because we're the bridge between the elders and the youth, but we're also the bridge between the youth and the elders, trying to share to the elders there are new technologies out there. Even Santa Claus was using it today. He was using the iPhone as he was talking with us. So, if we can continue to support both those groups, it's always positive messages. That's what Christmas is about. The positive message.
And then if you look at, the hidden generation, the generation above us, because that's what they're referring to. I know there's studies being developed to even talk about that hidden generation and why they hid as Métis. Well, they had a reason to, right? But now we have this new term called the found generation of Métis that are coming through. And we're sort of trying to recover all that lost identity we've had due to the hidden one. But, and part of that is a resurgence in our history and a resurgence in our inherent right, which is all the laws we had in the past. Obviously, we're not going to go out hunting buffalo, but at least, honoring that food source that was kept the Métis fed for many generations, right? And knowing what pemmican meant, and knowing where the forts were, knowing where the cart trails were, and all that stuff. And also our inherent right to harvest animals, right? And that's part of it.
And and the information that they provide when they provide your card, isn't just a card that shows up saying, there you go, off you go. No, it comes with information. There's a lot of good information that's on the provincial website that talks about harvesting. There's information that talks about what type of animals that you should be looking for if you're hunting, because our goal is to also protect the ecosystem, right? You're hunting the right animal for not necessarily for culling, but for ensuring that it's the animal husbandry, that there's still enough of the males and the females of that species in order to continue to populate. So it's all, there's great information, right? This is the Squeaky Wheel. This is part of what we're trying to share.
Yeah, and I mean, we're not sport gamers. You know, we do have
No.
a very traditional aspect to how we hunt, and that has to be duly noted by the government. So they understand that, you know, when you open the door, or creep in the door for more harvesters to come in, especially on the Métis angle, we're not here just to get a radio call that there's a bunch of elk or whatever, and we hop on our quads and we jump out there. It's not a sport thing for us, right?
Yeah.
There's a real traditional aspect to how we hunt.
The funny, all of our conversation, of course, in this, and you listen to everything on the news, is the struggles with COVID. I think today we wanted to bring in sort of try and see something positive. One of the things I want to talk to is about is not necessarily my rant, but folks, there's a lot of seniors out there, and I often talk about make sure that you engage with them, but also when that big piles of snow come down and we haven't had to shovel a whole lot, try and help your neighbors out, folks, right? And if you have senior neighbors, don't get so frustrated with the fact that they're not out there shoveling. Shoveling's a lot of work. So we're going to hopefully start seeing more of the snow angels. We're trapped home anyways. So there's no reason this shouldn't be the cleanest sidewalk season ever. This is the season where I've seen the best Christmas lights in the city because people have the time to put up so many wonderful Christmas lights. And I think there's an app or it's a site, Light Up Calgary. My wife was telling me about it, and she's looked at it for a few places. But when you just drive your community in order to see how it looks, Christmas lights everywhere, fantastic. And actually, I have to give a big shout out. We took the opportunity to go through the one down at the Stampede grounds within the BMO Center. And of course, they're redeveloping that whole area. Absolutely beautiful. Their Christmas light display down there. And it's all masked up and it's very distanced. And you have a responsibility to keep distance between everybody as you're moving your way through. But the inside, you get a chance to be warm and see some spectacular lights. So big shout out to the Stampede, who also went through a difficult time here by losing the CEO just passed away, who's got a long history. So it's unfortunate, but we're still trying to look at positives and trying to build on that strength. So hopefully they rebound from that.
Yeah, it's really sad to hear Warren Connell's gone. I mean, he's been around for a long time, through the floods, through, you know, so much happening at Stampede, and we know that family's going to be, you know, lost a little bit. But, you know, one thing about the Stampede, they always tend to be our strength, you know, here as Calgarians a little bit. So, I mean, all the best to him and his family.
Yeah. Well, Lawrence, I think we got the chance here to wrap up our Christmas. Anything else you'd like to say? I mean, it's easy. I always would love to say thank you to our Métis Santa for coming on. The idea that there's one positive figure who's there to share that message with everybody from the youngest age. There is nobody who doesn't see Santa and smile, knowing that he's there to bring such a blessing of a message of that he travels to all the families. Yeah. So big thank you to old Saint Nick. And thank you to all of our listeners. This is going to be a challenging year for us all, but here at the Squeaky Wheel, we all want everybody to just have the safest year that we can have so that we're all here next year as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish everybody the best Christmas, and I think the next episode will probably do a bit of a year in review. So if people want to subscribe, please hit the subscribe button. We'll keep everybody posted.
Yeah, and that's actually important. I've done that Zoom one that's available on our website. I want to also do one so that we can show people. All you have to do is when you've logged into Google and you've gone to YouTube, which Google owns, and you hit that red button that says subscribe, every one of those numbers helps us, folk. So when you want to ask us questions, continue to send your interests and your the things you'd like us to chat about to tsw@métis3.org. We follow our emails, we follow our relationships, and we appreciate the connection. So, Lawrence, thank you. It'll be after Christmas that we have our next year in review. Thank you, Jason, for assisting us always with the editing and making me look thinner and making Lawrence look taller. We always appreciate this the connection. Lawrence, I always enjoy talking to you.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. I know you don't really get too many accolades, so just accept that as your Christmas gift. Bonus. All right.
Thank you, folks.